animals.
Oil?
This is oil, yeah. Yep.
The colors, you can tell oil from acrylic because the colors are so much richer in oil.
Yeah, absolutely clearer and brighter often.
I mean, the level of detail in this bear is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And his eyeball, he almost looks bored. He's like, yeah, okay, I'll try to get this guy. There's something very real going on there.
I don't know how good the light is in here, but the color in his fur is kind of surreal because when you get up close to it, you can see like individual bits of green and blue have tinged the fur. So from here, it just gives you an overall impression of brown bear fur. But if you get closer, it almost becomes like if you took like just a close-up shot of the fur and made it like an abstract painting or an abstract photograph, it would be like this sort of psychedelic, sort of weird immersion in like just bits of color. And there are two of his paintings that are up at the Beaverton Toyota space right now, and they're even more psychedelic in that way that I was describing, but very realistic also.
It's hard to decide whether the bird's coming out of the bear's mouth and the butterflies
or about to go in.
You're right, or if the bear's trying to catch the bird and the bird's trying to catch the butterflies.
You could read it both ways.
You could read it both ways.
Yeah. But this is one of the things that I love about, one of the things that I look for in art. You know, to the untrained eye, if you just look at this and you just read it on its surface, bear eats bird, bird eats butterflies, the circle of life, it's very easy to just understand it and to appreciate its
even
its
just
beauty.
on the surface of it, there's a bear.
Right.
You know, there's no question about what that is.
But then if you give it some time and you can dig into it more, it becomes more and more of an experience. And every time I come back to this painting, I find more inspiration in it.
Yeah.
So I really like that about a lot of the artists that I represent, is that, you know, you can get it right away if you want, but if you want to spend the time, you can really make it an experience and get more out of it and enjoy it on a completely different level. So, I was talking to you earlier about this artist, Joel Brown, who's just, this painting just is stunning to me. It's actually oil on a wood panel, which gives it this chalky quality that I just had never experienced before. I always experience oil with a lot of light and a lot of luminous qualities, but this almost like, it just like is matte and just soaks up so much light. And then the subject is gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's very dreamy.
No, it's almost like, I mean, I see two characters here, but at the same time, I also see one character with some kind of a dream or a spiritual other happening here. Like the person here is sleeping, and then there's another.
I thought they were the same person.
Yeah, that was kind of. I mean, at first, when you look at it, it just looks like a couple of guys in bed. If you were just to grab it right away, but then you get to looking at it and you realize that this person is rendered much more tangibly. Like there's substance to him where this
he doesn't have arms.
Much more abstract. His hands are missing. He's gone at the waist.
There's just a suggestion of musculature.
There's a suggestion of an arm. There's a suggestion of hair, but it isn't there. It's just there's a very dreamy quality.
So maybe this character is dreaming the other one.
Yeah, something like that. Right. And then there's this other thing that's going on where he's sanded the surface or something, which while the colors are there, the sanding of the surface makes the colors sort of fade almost.
Yeah.
Or they disappear into each other. They get overlapped, and there's a lot of different colors going on in here too. It's really beautiful. And that's a really deep red right there.
Yeah, so again, really easily accessible at first, but then you can
There's a
You
really
can make an experience.
bright blue spot right in the middle right there, and it doesn't fit anything, but there it is.
Right, but and as I was saying earlier, this show, like there are 20 or 30 pieces like in the show. They all have different subjects. Some of them are figures, some of them aren't, some of them are completely abstract so that you can't tell what really is going on. But the palette has really, really deep connections, so that in a room with 10 or 12 or 30 of these paintings, you feel like it all is connected by the palette, and it really immerses you in an experience.
Yeah, and it's surreal. It's extremely surreal. This guy doesn't, he's ethereal, and yet the palette is earthy and very grounded. Like, these are all colors that you would find in nature somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
The way that they're combined,
except for this
very,
blue, this weird blue.
Well, I mean, that's sky.
Yeah, well,
But I mean,
or turquoise. It's almost,
it's a very,
neon,
it's a very odd little spot of blue right there.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't notice it unless I pointed it out to you, I think. You know, unless you were standing here going, "Oh wait, there's a little blue spot." But no, I love it. It's all. It's very earthy.
I have one more
ethereal
that
at
I
the
want to
same
show
time.
you, but I'm not going to drag you up these stairs to do it. I'm going to bring it down.
Okay.
And I think what I'll do is, I'm just going to replace this painting with it so we can hang it up and you can see it.
Okay.
So this artist is Doug Rhodes, and he lives and works in San Francisco. He's in the Mission. His studio's on Clarion Alley, which is a very famous street art location in San Francisco. It's between Valencia and Mission and 17th and 18th. It's a narrow alley, and both sides of the alley, the buildings are all done with graffiti and street art. He has a studio there, and he has kind of the street art quality to him, but he also has a real fine art sensibility. A lot of these the elements in this collage are pictures that he's taken and then manipulated on Photoshop or something, and then he starts to just layer them onto, in this case it's a board, but he often works on canvas. He'll then scan it, blow it up, put new elements on it, and then in this case he's put it all on this board and then applied a gel medium over it. So you can go ahead and touch it if you want,
That's what I wanted to do.
because it's just got all of these layers to it.
Is this a
It's
collage?
yeah. It's like sculptural.
Very amazing.
And in some of his other work, this one is primarily collage. The background is painted with acrylic, and then
Yeah, because you can see like this cloud
yeah,
there's an indentation here, so he's gone underneath the surface behind, and he's created a sculptural element
Right.
that represents the cloud without the colors on it,
yeah,
and then he puts the colors over
yeah,
top, so it creates. There's a sculpture. There's a what do you call it?
It's
you
like
can feel it.
3-dimensional. Yeah,
Yeah, it's 3D.
and you can actually see it too when you're standing here when the light hits it.
It's not a smooth panel at all. It's been, the surface has been treated before he even started
Yeah.
putting the picture on there.
Yeah, exactly. And then some of his other work has a lot more color to it and a lot more acrylic paint. So he'll paint little creatures and characters to go along with his ideas of the integration between nature and the built environment. This is sort of the ultimate expression of nature and humanity together. But when you see his work as a series, there's a story that it tells about our relationship or our lack of a relationship with nature, and how that needs to change and how it will eventually.
I see this vastness of nature where like it's Like it's open and there's nothing going on the ground, and the tree comes up out of the ground, and it's there's sort of a space for things to exist here, and then the man-made quality, the city, if you will, is all clumped in the middle, and this is where human beings